Welcome, I'm Dave Gandell from T2P TV, coming to you this evening from the Boatyard Bar and Grill Film Boat. We are at the Annapolis Yacht Club's Wednesday night race series. It is the second to last Wednesday night race of the 2025 season, the penultimate race of the summer. And we have spectacular conditions this evening. After a day of little to no breeze, a very nice northeasterly is setting up. It's about 8 to 10 knots here in the river, north-northeasterly, flat water out of this wind direction. I think it's building a bit, and I think when we get out in the bay, it actually could get pretty interesting. The big fleet setting up as usual, and we're out here on the scene bringing it to you this evening. We are 10 seconds away from the first start of the evening. It's the ORC 1 class. Pen end, very popular.
Well, they all made it in there, Dave. I can't believe that.
Well, we've got a real battle in the top of the standings here. Dark Storm, Ken Comerford, Time Machine, Bruce Irvin, and the J111 Tenacious separated by just 2 points for the series. So you're going to see some aggressiveness tonight and next week here among those three fighting for top honors. I like Time Machine start, despite the fact they're a little short on the hoist. I like where they are on the track.
Better than Dark Storm.
Next up, the ORC2 class, less than 10 seconds away from their starting signal. What's going to be interesting with this class this evening is the first leg of this course is a very long downwind port jibe out the river. And in this class, we've got a disparate collection of waterline lengths and spinnaker sizes. And it's going to be interesting to see how much the long waterline boats with the big kites affect these short waterline boats with the smaller kites on this long one jibe leg out the river. And what I'm talking about here, we're starting to see unfold. Brad Kaufman and the team aboard the Mum 30 Mumbles.
They got a good start.
They had a good start. They are 11 points ahead for the series, but they're going to have to really work hard to keep a clean lane here. There's a lot of boats with big kites all around them, and they're going to be in defense mode here out of the gate. "15 seconds from the J105 start. Once again, we've got a big class, and once again, they all like to be in the same place at the same time.
Look at that, Mark.
It's going to be...
Two trying to sneak in. Oh, there's boats. Lots of boats over.
It was on starboard. Let's see what happens here. So this is another one where we've got a couple mile leg here with very minimal passing lanes. It's all going to be on the port jibe coming out the river. So getting yourself in a good spot here is going to pay out in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, in 15 minutes. There's just not going to be a lot of opportunities for big, bold moves here early on in the race. As a result, we're seeing some fierce competition for lanes down there at the pin. And there's the J80 start. Looking very solid is your current series leader, Mike Beasley, and the Black Sheep. Kite full, clear lane, making their way out the river. However, hot on their heels is Anthony Flake and his team, only 1 point behind for the series. We've moved out towards the mouth of the river and caught up with the J105 class. And with a minimum number of passing lanes on this leg, they are still very tightly grouped together. We've poked our nose out into the bay, where the northeasterly breeze is probably up to about 12 knots. It's still kind of puffy. There's still some spots that are substantially less than that. But the ORC1 class making its way back into the river. So upwind, crews stacked up on the rail, and this is a helmsman and main sheet trimmer leg here. And as the ORC-1 boats make their way back into the river, we are at the next turning mark for the J105 class. Dove leading the class, followed closely by Mirage. So with the J105 class still in a very tight pack, what we're seeing here at this mark is those that tack immediately to starboard are encountered with a wall of port tackers.
Who's in the lead in the J80s?
You know, 1162 sailed a very nice leg out the river here, but he's got Snowstorm, Double D, and Black Sheep hot on his heels. Let's see if he can defend that lead. Wow, this is there's some really interesting boat-on-boat tactics here in this J80 class. They seem to be ganging up on the black boat, who's leading the series.
They're doing a pretty good job at it.
Yeah, they are. And the Cannonball and the J30 class, calm, cool, and collected, making their way out into the bay at the top of the leaderboard here, about halfway into the race, looking very good. The AYC club-owned sonar fleet making their way out the river. And again, very closely packed. This is some excellent one design racing.
Our friends in Perth.
Yeah, our Perth friends are making their way out the river as well. Poles up on the head stays here. This breeze is staying surprisingly solid. You know, I've seen gusts probably up to about 14 knots as we get out into the bay.
Dave, I don't know how you get so lucky when you come out with this.
I'll tell you, Bruce, I started the year with a couple stormy nights. You were out of town, but this is about as nice as it gets. Nice cool temperatures, good breeze, and some exciting racing. Off Greenberry Point, we've caught up with the ORC-1 leaders. And out in front, boat for boat, Tenacious to J111. Hot on her heels though, Dark Storm and Time Machine. These guys are just separated by a couple of boat lengths, and there are going to be some passing lanes here in this last section of the race. It is an upwind leg here, and then the kites will come out up the creek to the finish.
I think Johnny's getting really killed there, Dave.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot here. You know, there's just not an easy way out. They're underneath a couple of fairly big rigs. They're doing a good job staying powered up and moving through it here, but it's a tough spot to be for the old FAR 40 there. The ORC-1 class setting up for the last leg into the harbor. It's a spinnaker set here, and the J111 Tenacious has just been very impressive tonight, boat for boat. And I actually think that this last leg is going to really play into their favor. They've got a big kite and flat water. It's going to be interesting to see if they can hold off Dark Star and Time Machine, who are charging up the stern here.
I don't know, Dave. That looks really thin to me.
Look, it's fairly tight here, or thin here for kites, but Time Machine is letting her rip. And inspired by that, just ahead, Dark Star setting theirs. Dark Storm, I'm sorry, setting theirs. Tenacious in the lead is holding off.
That seems smart money to me.
Yeah, it is awfully thin. Time Machine here is already on their ear. So we saw Time Machine set their kite right after they rounded Red Nun number 8. And this course from Red Nun number 8 to 1SC to get into the creek is very tight for spinnakers. And it was almost like it was a pure pressure situation. Time Machines went up, Dark Storms went up, and then Tenaciouses went up. It's going to be tough for these guys to hold them into the creek. So we see a lot of hiking. We actually see the flogging main there on Tenacious. and a very thin angle. So both Tenacious and Dark Storm were able to make the 1SC can. It was very tight. Finally, a little bit of relief as they crack off and head for the finish line.
Looks like Tenacious held on, Dave.
They sure did. That was fairly exciting. Fairly tight reach here into the creek. They held that starboard the whole way in, and nice little match race between the J111 and the J121. And that's a wrap on another memorable Wednesday night race in Annapolis. A very nice northeasterly breeze held on throughout the evening and sent the fleet around a really nice course out into the bay and back. Spinnaker finish. All the spectators love to see that here along the harbor's edge. Look, on behalf of T2PTV and the Annapolis Yacht Club, I'm Dave Gindel. Thanks for watching.